Well, I'm back on the mountain. The last, I don't know, 2 weeks we taped shows in Phoenix. So we've got new quilt shows coming out. And then I went to Texas from Phoenix to visit my family. My mom's still there. She's 93. She's doing great. And we went to see The Wizard of Oz on stage with my great niece, Macy, playing the lead role of Dorothy. And she was amazing. So we've had a great time. And now back home, and I'm so excited to share with you today a fun chat that I had with a really good, fun friend of mine, Cindy Seitz Krug. Please do pop in a little hello and a greetings. That would be super duper. And we'll get started here in just a moment. If you have any, those pressing questions, I would love to be able to answer some of those as well. Janet from South Carolina, howdy doody, and Denise from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Hope you guys are doing great. It's April, and for me, that means getting ready to go to Paducah. I don't know if anybody will be at the American Quilter Society show, but I will be teaching 2 classes there and doing my concert. So if you're headed to Paducah, I hope to see you there. We've got California and New York and New Jersey and North Carolina. But you guys here today, just great. It's great to see you all. I'm going through the hellos looking for the questions. You guys are the curious sort. So hey, Miss Gigi, it's good to see you. Gigi, you better be quilting. All of you guys better be quilting. Sharon from Stormy, Arkansas, I'll tell you, it has been crazy weather across the country. If anybody has been in those storms, and they seem to have been everywhere, not just down in Arkansas. Stay safe. I've been there. I know what it feels like. We are finally having a day here on the mountain without wind, but it has been so incredibly windy, getting close to even hurricane force winds at times. So thankfully today is a little bit calm. Woke up this morning to a glorious 14 degrees. How about that? Raining in Michigan. Ah, yes, Ontario, California, home to Road to California. I do know that. Been there several times. All right, you guys. So here's what I want to share with you today. I'm doing some fun interviews with various people about, just about their life and what they're doing. And I had a really awesome opportunity to speak recently with Cindy Seitz Krug. And Cindy is a fabulous quilter. She also has a fun part of her life that we're going to share near the end. So I want you to stick around for that. But she has a new book out, and I want her to tell you about it. We had a great chat. If you are a quilter, this is going to be something fun for you. Cindy is primarily a domestic free motion quilter, which is primarily what I do as well. But I know that some of the things that she's going to share also relates to long arm quilting. And again, like I said, we got a special treat at the end for you. So I hope you'll enjoy this little visit that I had with Cindy. She is delightful. We've had the great experience of judging together in the past, and I look forward to seeing her again real soon. So here is Cindy Seitz Krug. Hey everybody, Ricky Timms here, and I am so excited to be speaking today with Cindy Seitz Krug. I have to tell you, I met Cindy in Daytona a few years back, and we judged together at that show. We've become great friends. I really am inspired by her, and I know you're going to be inspired by her as well. So, Cindy, I'm so happy to see you today.
Hi, Ricky.
So there you are. I see what looks like a studio behind you. Is that, and even a long arm? Is that what I?
Yeah, that's part of my quilt room. It actually used to be 2 bedrooms, and then when I got the long arm a few years ago, I told Rich, we don't need a guest bedroom. Tear the wall out. The long arm's going in here. So now I have twice as much space. So that was kind of cool. And the people who come to visit get to stay at the Best Western.
So I've met Rich. Rich is your husband. He is super supportive of your work and what you do.
Yep.
He's delightful and has to be a good guy to say, okay, let's just take a wall out.
Yeah, he that was so nice. Yeah, I really was happy. I was teaching in Havasu, and he came back. I came back, and it was done. So yeah, that was awesome.
That's great. Now, listen, I know both you and I are very passionate about machine quilting, and it's
Right,
one of those things that when people start quilting, quilt tops are what they're doing, and the whole process of machine quilting, it's scary. I mean, it's like I don't even want to do it because I'm going to ruin everything. And
right.
I am primarily a domestic sewing machine quilter, free motion quilter,
Yep,
as are you. But you
yep.
have dipped your toe into the long arm. You're dipping.
Right.
You're wading in the shallow end.
Exactly. Yeah, I got the long arm. I got a good deal on it. I am a Bernina ambassador, so I got a really good deal. It's a Q20 on a frame, and I really feel like I stink at long arming, but I can do okay, and I can make cozy quilts and quilts, for my friends, and not have to spend a couple months on them. I can get them done in a week or two. But it is fun, but yeah, I'm not very good at it yet.
Well, so the reason I'm talking to you today is primarily because you've got a new book. So do you want to talk
I
about?
do.
All right, let me get over. I'm going to share a screen right now so
Okay.
that everybody can see what we're talking about. This is one of your quilts. Tell us about this.
So this is a really small quilt. It's all hand appliqued. Those are little 1 inch hand appliqued clamshells around the border. And I started doing appliqued clamshells a few years ago. One of my other show quilts had over 1,400 hand
Whoa.
appliqued clamshells. And yeah, I foolishly thought, oh, I'm going to try some 1 inch clamshells. They were a bear, but I got them done, and so that was the result. That quilt's only, I think it's 18 by 18 inches square,
Oh
so
my
it's very
word.
small.
So it's really
Yeah,
small. That is a surprise because I didn't realize it was that small. That's awesome.
yeah, and what you maybe if you zoom in, you can see around that applique in the center, I've used a grid-based quilting design, and it's called Square in a Square. And the grid designs, they just contrast so beautifully with other less structured designs, or they contrast with applique. They really just set off everything around them. And
Well,
that's what I love about grid designs.
and that's what we're going to talk about. So this is the cover of your new
Okay.
book. What
Yep.
inspired this?
Okay, so in 2016, I wrote my first book on grid-based quilting designs. It's called the Grid Design Workbook. But um, I wanted to do this one for a long time, and finally, this past summer, I just dove in, head on. And it's got 60 different grid-based quilting designs. And this book is more. It doesn't tell you all the little things like my first book told you about how to mark your how to mark grids on your quilts and how to travel from one area to the other and all that. This one just has 60 designs. It has each design quilted on dark fabric with contrasting thread, and then also on light fabric with blending thread. So when you quilt with contrasting thread, you see the thread more than anything. The thread's kind of what grabs your attention. But when you quilt with blending thread, you see the texture more. So those are just the two options you can have when you do grid designs. So this one just has 60 different designs. It has beautifully drawn diagrams and easy to follow diagrams. And it shows, like I said, both quilted samples of light fabric, dark fabric. And then it also just breaks down that design into one little grid box. So every grid design is basically one little design repeated over and over. And that's how you get those beautiful structured
Sure.
designs.
So Cindy, you've got a video that shows a little bit about what you're doing with grids. Let's take a look at that, okay?
Okay. All right, I've already quilted the horizontal lines, and you can see they're just parallel lines there. But now I'm going to add the vertical lines, and we will see what happens. You know, whenever you do grid designs, you want to quilt all your vertical or horizontal lines first, and then you go in and add the other lines. So, and that's when I say, this is when the magic happens. As soon as you start adding the lines that go the other direction, magic strikes. So here I'm quilting. It's called the Twisted Clamshell Grid Design. And you can see I'm doing a soft S shape there. And the soft S is so prevalent in quilting. It's like we see it in feather spines or applique vines. So we see that soft S shape. So I'm just quilting a soft S. I have grid lines marked there. It's sort of hard to see in the video. But when you quilt grid designs, you want to strive for accuracy. So I want my soft S to be the same size every time if possible. And I want to hit those intersections as accurately as possible. So it's as simple as that.
Right. And each time, because you've pre-marked your grid, each time you
Yep.
come to a grid crossing,
Yep.
that's where you're driving to, essentially.
Exactly. That's your aiming point. So yeah, if you can look ahead at that intersection, you're going to hit it more accurately. So that's all I'm doing there. Just
And
soft
a
S's
lot
and
of
aim
people
for the
think that
intersection.
a lot of people feel they have to mark every line, and you're
Oh
not
no.
really marking every line. Look at this on the finish. That looks great.
Yep. Isn't that beautiful?
It is.
Yeah, it's just and it's so simple. So and then you can go in and fill those in with all kinds of other designs. And in the book I have several other designs that fill in that basic twisted clamshell grid. So but by itself it's beautiful too.
That looks really great. And the cover shows some samples, but I want to show some quilt.
Mm-hmm.
So at
Okay.
first glance, of course, we see this glorious, glorious iris, but I'm going to
Yep.
zoom in to show where the grid quilting is on this, okay? Up in the back.
Okay. Yep. Right. Yeah. Just, with that iris being so, um, such a natural, organic kind of design, that grid design just seemed like the perfect backdrop for it to make the iris stand out even more beautifully. And, I mean, you can imagine I could have used some kind of curvy design or pebbles, but I just don't think anything would have looked as beautiful as that grid design.
Yeah, I like straight lines against curves a lot. Uh,
Exactly.
and so
Yep.
here's another a situation where, yes, you've got some fancy quilting. I see the leaf and you're echoing
Hmm.
around the applique, but the
Yep.
filler design is kind of back into a grid that's crisscrossing.
Yeah, it's a basket weave design, and it's on a half-inch grid. So it took a while, and it's on the diagonal. You can do that basket weave on a horizontal, vertical grid or diagonal. But yeah, you could just tell how it sets that applique off beautifully. So I kind of always say grids have a synergistic effect. Whatever, grids by themselves are beautiful, and then your applique or your piecing, whatever, is beautiful. But when you combine them, they're greater than the sum of their parts. So it's synergistic. I think they're just magical.
Well, I want to show some similar designs to this one. There are variations on this square grid where it has filling.
Mhm.
This is a diamond, but it's kind
Yep.
of the same thing.
Well, so this one, what I like to show, a lot of times with grid designs, what you see, what really stands out is that negative unquilted space. So that the puffy diamonds are what we really see. Now, if that was quilted with a dark fabric and contrasting thread, you would really see the thread more than those puffy diamonds. So again, that goes back to two different options on quilting grids.
Sure. And then this one is beautiful. I love that.
Yeah, that's funny. That design, my friend sent me a picture of I think it was a little menu or a flyer from a dinner show she went to, and that design was in the background. And so I'm like, cha-ching!
Yeah.
I did it, and it is a beautiful, I call it Oriental fans. It's just a beautiful design.
Yeah. And it just goes to show that design is everywhere and inspiration is everywhere as well.
Right.
Love, love, love. This is like a sampler of wonderful grid options.
Yeah, so this is the one and only modern quilt I've ever made. This is a small section of it. But I wanted to do a different grid design in every one of those, that, oh my gosh, the orange peel
Right.
shapes. So those were big enough to show off the grid designs. And of course, orange peels are set on a grid, so it's just they all went hand in hand together. And then of course I've got the echo quilting in those orange peel segments. So a little bit of contrast there.
Super beautiful, and I love the quilting in the negative space. People,
Yeah, for
I think
sure.
that most people would be so afraid of this.
I don't know. I always say be brave. What have you got to lose? Just be brave, dive in. I tell my students all the time, don't expect yourself to churn out work that looks like a computer did it, or a computerized sewing machine. We're just humans. All we can do is the best we can do. But if you do your best, your designs will come out beautifully. I guarantee it.
Yeah, and I know your process of just. I mean, we've got a video that I'm gonna share in a minute of how you actually make the bread, but this is elegant. This is just glorious.
Well, thank you. I'll tell you a really quick story. So I taught in China in 2019, and my friend got the whole thing organized for me. And she said, I want you to go teach them how to machine quilt. And I said, okay, fine. So I'm thinking beginning machine quilting, right? I came up with a few designs for her, and she's like, no, those are too easy. And I'm like, well, how in the heck am I supposed to teach them an advanced machine quilting design when they've never machine quilted? But that was our project for China, and they did beautiful. They are amazing quilters. They're just so meticulous, and I was very proud of them. I would like to take credit for all their success, but it was all them. So that was
Well,
the China sampler.
but they definitely need a leader, right? So when they get
Yeah.
a leader, it really works really well. So this is as beautiful as can be too. I love, of course, the mandala, the center, the circular part.
Right.
But oh my goodness, what you've done in the background is just glorious.
Yeah, again, it's just a beautiful, it's the cathedral window grid design around the corners. And that one, that's a light blue silk fabric, but I used gold silk thread. So the thread doesn't contrast, but it's sort of the same value. So you get that good blending effect, but you can also see the thread a little bit. So yeah, again, the grid design just contrasted beautifully with those
Just,
curvilinear
ju-
designs.
just as a quick question, what general thread weight do you use generally?
Well, for like the heirloom machine quilting, I love the 100 weight silk. I just
Okay,
love it the most. It's strong, it's beautiful. I use it in the top and bobbin. I don't care about if it costs a little bit more. I get perfect results, and
right.
that's what I love. So
And are
yep.
you using like a 60 needle for that or a 70?
No, I use a 70/10. Yeah,
Okay.
Microtech Sharp.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So and that gives a really fine finesseful look with a thin
Yes.
thread. And is that what you use all the time, or do you on other situations do you use heavier threads?
Oh, absolutely. I generally use a heavier thread for the main motif. So in that trapunto quilt, the mandala was something heavier that was a little showier and flashier. But for background designs, always those fine threads.
Okay. All right. Good. So I know that we've got this one as well. Is this the orange peel?
That's
Okay.
yep, same thing. Just a little bit of a close up there.
All
Um,
right.
yeah, that orange peel. I think it's about 70 by 75 inches square. So it's a bigger quilt, but that's just a close up.
And here.
That's another. Yeah, that's just a little sample. So you see, we have that traditional clamshell design that works into so many different grid based designs, and then just doing that OG shape within it. So I call it OG clamshells. I think this is what I named that one. But yeah, it's just beautiful. I really like it, and it's easy to do. So you know.
So tell everybody a little bit about where they can find some of your videos, just
Oh, okay.
social media websites and stuff like that.
Okay, so my website is quintessentialquilting.com. You can buy both my books there. I have three DVDs, teaching DVDs, a beginning machine quilting and some other stuff. Um, let's see. Yeah, Facebook, either under just my name, Cindy Seitz Krug, or I have a Quintessential Quilting Facebook page. I also have a Facebook group called We Love Grid Designs. So I encourage people to post all of their grid-based quilting designs there and help inspire everybody else. I have a YouTube channel, so it's under Quintessential Quilting. And if you click on that, it says this page has no content. But if you click on videos, I think I have about 54 videos. So
Okay.
yeah,
Very,
that's
very
it.
good. And I want to let everybody know that you are on episode 2603 of The Quilt Show at thequiltshow.com.
Yeah. Yep,
Okay.
yep, yep. You gave me all that time to show a bunch of grid designs, and that was fun.
This is just really, really exciting. Now we're gonna turn the page here for a moment because you're sitting there kind of at home. You're in this beautiful little environment, and there's a lovely log cabin quilt with some applique and behind you. Just and you look just great today. Okay, your hair and makeup person did a great job for you today.
Right.
But one of the things that I love about you that I've come to really appreciate, and we're going to get personal now, is what you do. I don't know if it's called hobby or if it's just part of your lifestyle, but you
It,
and Rich both are avid hunters and fishers,
yep,
right? So I'm
yep.
going to show some pictures and let you just tell us a little bit about that journey, okay?
Okay, so this is our salmon trolling boat in Alaska, southeast Alaska, and you can see there the name of the boat is the Lucinda, and it wasn't named that when we bought it, but when I met my husband 36 years ago in Ventura, California, I worked for the Department of Fish and Game, and he was a commercial fisherman. And after I quit working for Fish and Game, he and I just started fishing together, and living together, and the rest is history. But way back then, he told me he was going to name his boat the Mary Lucinda, which is my name. Well, he never did that on that boat, but here we are, 36 years later, or 35 whenever we bought the boat, and he named it the Lucinda. So full circle, it was good.
That's great.
I held him to his promise. So these are salmon, obviously in Alaska, and I sometimes go up there and help him on the boat. But I'd rather be sitting in my sewing room writing books on grid-based quilting design.
I don't know that that's true because I've talked to you enough to go, oh, I'm so excited we're going to Alaska, or oh, we're headed up to Montana
I know.
to do some hunting. I think you like it
Yeah.
all.
I do. I do. I love it. And there's my husband unloading king salmon. He's down in the fish hole throwing those fish up. Yeah. We're the ones that put our lives on the line so everybody in this country and the world can eat delicious salmon.
Yep.
So,
That's great. So turkey shooting, yeah?
yeah, this is just a turkey I shot in California. Everybody goes, "What's that bird in the background?" That's a turkey decoy, and those are very crucial in pulling in those toms. And you see me there with my bow. We are exclusively bow hunters. So, yep,
That's
that's
very
just a
challenging.
beautiful
That's
turkey.
a
Yeah,
very
yeah,
challenging situation. Yep. And there's you.
yep. And
Okay.
there's Rich and me, and that's one that he got. So we're actually gonna go again here in a couple weeks. We're looking forward to that.
All right.
And that's a bull. Yeah, that's a bull elk I shot in New Mexico a few years ago. It's funny. It started raining as soon as we started pulling that bull in, but I shot him, and luckily he expired very quickly. And he's just a beautiful animal, and we eat all the meat we harvest. We're carnivores, but we just choose to harvest our own meat instead of buy it at the grocery store.
Yeah, I live out here on the wilderness, and I have both my nephew and a friend that use this place for hunting, and
Hmm.
we do have meat in the fridge. I really appreciate well, I think people do realize that the herds do have to be minimized, or disease takes over. Even
Absolutely.
more of them could die than from hunting. But you're not a
Yep.
trophy hunter. You guys are
Yep.
out to feed your family,
Yep.
and I think that's really. Well, first of all, I can't even imagine doing it with a bow. I mean, it's just that I don't know that I could even hit a target, but It's very, very impressive. Now you've got
Yeah.
mules. You've got mules.
Yeah. Yeah, we have four mules, and basically we always say they work 1 month a year. They work the whole month of September because that's when we're bow hunting elk. And there's my mule girl, and she's just laying in the sun after she got a belly full of grass. So I'm just giving her a little love there. And Brownie's in the background. Old Brownie's about 25 years old now. But yeah, those are two of our mules, and we have two male mules also. So there I am. I'm leading out the string. I got my meat and elk meat and antlers on. I guess it's on girl. Yeah, and so we're just packing out of the wilderness. That I think that was New Mexico. So,
Well,
yep.
I still got the invitation open for you to bring the mules up here and have a trail ride. That sounds great.
Yeah,
And
we would love to.
you're
We're
you're
gonna do
you're
that.
you're a cover girl.
I am. I always laugh. I've never made the cover of a quilting magazine, but I've been on the cover of a national bow hunting magazine. So, you know, that's
I,
funny. But yep, that was it.
That's great. Well, listen, I've enjoyed chatting with you today.
Yeah.
I would ask you here at the end a little bit about, what has quilting really brought you to your life? Are there any experiences, any travel experiences, any situations, or where there was a student that, really impacted you?
Um, I can't really say one special, particular student, but I hear my students in my beginning class all the time say, they'll say, I've taken beginning machine quilting classes before, but I never felt like I had the confidence to quilt my quilts until today, until I took your class. And as a teacher, nothing makes you feel better than when you've empowered your students to be able to create beautiful things. So that's just really heartwarming to me. That's why I keep doing it. I think that's why we all do it. And quilting itself, I just love it. I mean, it's just that's what I do. It's my favorite thing besides hunting. Those two things. I have my little alter egos there, but love both of those things. I love creating beautiful compositions. So, you
Well,
know.
I'm with you. I know that when we have our quilting family and our quilting fans and all of that,
Hmm.
they really, they want to see us because of quilting, but we are humans and we have lives. And, I have my other
Yeah,
passions, you have your other passions, and I really like knowing the personal backgrounds behind quilters as well. So thank you for sharing your
I
story
do
with
too.
us today.
Well,
We're
thank you.
I'm so excited for your new book, and I encourage everybody to get a copy to add that to the library and perhaps even add the first book if they don't have it. But also
Yeah,
watch your videos online
yeah,
and just get connected because it's it's what you do makes it doable, and so I really
yeah.
appreciate that.
Everybody can do it, and that book is going to help you and show you how easy it is. So, hope you'll
All
check
right.
it out. And thank you, Ricky. And
Uh,
it's been great talking to you. I can't wait to see you again.
we'll see you soon. I definitely will see you very, very soon. And I think we're
Right.
going to be in Paducah together. So we'll
Yes, we are.
connect there. All right. Everybody, thanks for
All right.
watching and getting to know Cindy a little bit better. It's good to see you all. And I wish you all the very best. God bless everybody. Take
Bye.
Bye bye.